Hello, I'm Meenakshi Sharma, Organisation Change and People Development Manager. And I'm here talking to Kamal about a topic that I think is of real interest and real, not controversy, because I think people have different interpretations of it, resilience. So I'm really interested in your thoughts on what you think resilience is and what do you think it isn't, and how you maintain your own resilience and of those other around you.
Big question. When I'm talking about cybersecurity, for example, I say sometimes that perhaps we should be talking about cyber resilience rather than cybersecurity.
Okay.
And in many ways, what we mean by resilience in that context can apply to what we mean by resilience in working environments and in any environments, the human resilience. So for me, resilience is not about being tough and, soldiering on no matter what. I think being resilient is coping with adversity, difficulty, challenges, and coming out of those challenges in a way that not only is positive, etc., but it can add value to your environment. And if you do it continuously and it becomes a habit rather than just a one-off thing, I think for me that's being resilient. And of course there are all sorts of things we can talk about. How can you become resilient, or what impact that has on you internally, what impact it has on the people who work with you, the people who live with you, the people who experience you in life.
Yes, you've said a lot there, and I need to go back and pick up on some things, because you started off by making a comparison between cyber resilience. I need to understand more about that and how you translate and transfer that into your day-to-day life.
Let's take that technical environment.
Yes.
I don't think we can be 100% cyber secure.
Okay.
So no one, no company, no individual will ever be 100% secure. We can only improve our security as far as possible.
Okay.
More importantly, we have to plan for when it hits the fan.
Okay.
It rhymes, but it wasn't meant to. So if we plan properly, so when things go wrong, we know exactly what to do, and we don't panic, and we are in an environment that we predicted more or less, and therefore we know how to react and come out of it unscathed, or at least we minimize the negative impact and move forward. In other environments involving humans, working with humans, living with humans, etc., it has a similar feel. We cannot avoid challenges. We cannot live in a world where everything works, according to how we think it should work. So there are issues, problems, difficulties, challenges, and how we deal with them requires us to prepare for what if something does happen, which we don't necessarily want to happen, but we have to plan for it. What should be our behavior? We can plan for actions, which I think that part of the planning is easier. So if, let's say, I'm running a business and my income is projected to go in this direction, I have to plan for what happens if the income goes in a slightly different direction. That's an easy plan to have. I think planning your feelings and your reactions, your behavior, takes character. It's something to do about your own character. And that requires training, not planning. You train yourself to behave in a certain way in front of adversity, challenges, difficult situations, etc., and come out of that with dignity, with the right action, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So a number of interesting things there. You've talked about behaviours, training yourself, you talked about habits. So what would you say are the key kind of behaviours? And then how would you train yourself to make sure that you actually habitually are enacting in that way?
I think different people will have different views about this. It's not an exact science.
Are there some key behaviours that you would identify?
I think being calm at times of turbulence is important.
Yes.
Because that will give you enough ammunition to deal with what's around you. That will also have a positive impact on the people around you, because if you are the leader, whether leading a family or leading a department or leading a team, your behavior has a huge impact on your community.
Yes.
And if, as soon as things go wrong, there is panic and there is that will influence the behavior of others. So I think one thing which I think is important is being calm and treat things within their dimensions and take things into perspective rather than panic and maybe react in a way that should not be what should happen. So how do you train yourself to be calm and, you know, when things go wrong? I think one thing that helps me a lot is to think about things not in isolation.
Okay.
Things are connected to so many other matters around us, and having that holistic view combined with, let's look at this major problem we are facing today, and we think the world is going to collapse because of what's happening in front of us now. What will happen to this in 6 weeks' time? How will I look back at this in a year's time? Would it have the same importance as it has now? Or perhaps, because of all the influences and all the inputs we're getting to and the signals, we feel this is major and it's going, well, the whole thing is going to collapse. Actually, most things we worry about today will be insignificant in 6 weeks' time. I'm not suggesting we should have a nonchalance, a laissez-faire, because that you're just storing problems for tomorrow. I think it's having that balanced view whereby you look at something and it needs looking after, it needs dealing with, but it's not as important as we might think, because in the scheme of things, this is manageable. That way of looking at things internally doesn't create turbulence. Because there is no point in showing, you know, a facade of being calm and dealing with the issues when internally there is a huge turbulence. Because again, you may be dealing with the problem at hand, you're not doing yourself favors, particularly in terms of health and well-being, etc. I think you need to look at both together. As well as training yourself in this way, I think the way I deal with it, I give myself me time to relax, to, you know, give myself a pat on the back, space to think about things, being kind to myself in my little corner. Because when I am in my environment working with my team, I have to think about the team. I have to think about members of the team and how they move forward given this position. And how they remain resilient today and tomorrow. So I need time for myself,
Yes.
whether it's an hour a day, an hour a week.
Yes.
And my children laugh at me when I go, I'm going upstairs for a nap.
Okay.
It's a free thing, you know, a nap,
Yeah.
half an hour on
Yeah.
Saturday is a brilliant thing to do.
Yes.
It gives, it's, you know,
Yes.
and those tiny little things can
Yes.
help us, you know, in terms of well-being, personal
Yes.
well-being, and then recharge the battery and face the world again.
Yes. There's a lot of richness in what you've said. You've said a number of things, which is about, I'm hearing you say, you need to remain focused. You need to allow your time to reflect. You need to give yourself time to nourish yourself. And you need to be able to develop that in your team and those around you. I think that's what I've heard you say in all that.
I think that's a fair summary.
Yes. And how do you nurture that in your team and in other people?
I think training in general happens in two ways. I saw my peers, my leaders
Yes.
behave in certain ways.
Yes.
And there are many situations where I thought, wow, that's impressive. I'd like to be like that.
Yes.
You know? So the example is a good way of instilling that
Yeah.
into people around you.
Yes.
But I think the conversations we have on the
Yes.
side,
Yes.
those are very useful as well. And, you know, people talk to us about their problems, their
Yes.
issues, their difficulties, and you can say, well, grow up, come on, this isn't
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
That's just, why are you worrying about it?
Yeah.
That's not how you instill resilience. Is about really trying to understand that person from their point of view, where they are coming from, and then work with them. It's not
Yes.
a one-day event.
Yes.
It's a continuous process of talking, you know, not hand-holding, but just being that, I don't want to use the word coach, but that critical friend
Yes.
who cares.
Yes.
And in working environments, unfortunately, we've gone a little bit mad
Yeah.
about the bottom line,
Yes.
and we forget about that caring bit.
Yes.
Because before we are employees or
Yes.
deans or vice chancellors, we are human beings.
Yes.
And when we care about each other, that will be transferred.
Yes.
If we have it, we will transfer it.
Yes.
But you need to have that caring attitude.
Yes.
And I think when you talk to people with a caring attitude,
Yes.
with the intention to make them feel in control,
Yes.
I think with time it happens.
Yes.
And it works in the other way.
Yes.
So I might go into a conversation with a colleague who has difficulty. I come out of that conversation more resilient than when I went in,
Yes.
because of what they told me
Yes.
about how they handle certain things,
Yes.
which I didn't know about.
Yes.
So it's that continuous conversation.
Yes. Kamal, thank you very much. I feel we could go on talking much longer about this subject, but thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's been a pleasure, Mina.
Thank you.
Thank you.